Yeah, it was a real communal ultra experience.
Dude, I loved it.
It strips you down to just the basics. Like nothing else matters. Nothing else about our personal ideologies matter. Nothing matters except for, crossing those distances.
Aravaipa Running's inaugural Cocodona 250 is an epic ultramarathon race from Black Canyon City to Flagstaff, and links together some of the most iconic trails and towns in Arizona for one monumental undertaking of 250 consecutive miles. Like so many, we were all training and getting ready for our qualifying 100-mile races and weekend through hikes. And then, everything was canceled. So, did we throw in the towel? Heck no, we gathered up the crew and created our own adventure. Thus, MiniDona was born, a recreation of the final 105 miles of the Cocodona 250, from Sedona, Arizona to Flagstaff, and what an adventure it was.
Come back.
You ready?
Oh yeah.
All right.
There you go.
It's a little dark. But
What up? Hey, look at this guy's over here drinking.
you're having the
Having a beer.
Did you get the whiskey?
No,
Got the whiskey. Our fine crew.
All right.
Did you guys?
So immediately we took off from the trail ahead and couldn't find the trail. We were off course right away.
But I don't think we're ever on course.
No.
But then shortly after that, we were greeted with some hot air balloons and some red rock with the sun coming over the mountain, which we deemed it.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite moments. Just the adrenaline of actually finally getting started and then being in that environment.
Trying to do it as I'm falling
Hey,
down.
will someone go get that mountain biker that passed us and show him that we're running the extreme?
Oh yeah. Tell him be extreme.
Team Extreme.
Extreme! Parkour!
There was definitely sections that I felt like it was way more treacherous than anything that we did in the canyon.
I got a little,
For sure.
because you
I was
guys are fresh
surprised.
off the rim to rim.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of confidence there. I'm like, all right, I think maybe I can do rim to rim now.
And that's a point to remember too, if any of us are aiding or helping any of the runners at the Cocodona 250 to sort of warn them of that.
Yep, everybody's leaving Bear Canyon or Bear Mountain. So next stop would be Black Tank in about 10-11 miles. So a little bit behind schedule right now with the heat. So hopefully make up time. As they take off, they'll be going that way.
We were on like one of those Jeep roads, the Jeeps are bombing down and it got really dusty and like the heat of the day. I mean, I imagine it was 85, 88 degrees out or something like that. It was kind of a tough stretch. I don't remember I think we were kind of starting to get a little bit in a dark place. We're doing more walking there. It seemed like that one was kind of taking a long time to get to the aid station.
Take it up, whatever you have left.
Sorry.
Truth is truth.
I thought they smelled kind of strange too.
wait, these aren't baby wings.
Extreme close up.
I hated
because that was a
Casner.
rough stretch.
I hated Casner.
That almost
Who hated Casner?
I didn't mind Casner.
Well,
I did okay.
you go
That
from
was
somebody
good.
that hasn't run that many trails to like, I'm gonna hop in this thing in 2 weeks before I commit to this, and then run trails a few times, and then having to do Casner after untired legs.
You didn't show it. Don't worry. You didn't show it.
Well, I spoke it. I was
Yeah, I
complaining.
know you
I was
spoke it,
whining.
but you didn't show it.
I mean, that was at that point we were only 30 miles in, and I'm at the top of Casimir throwing up. I'm thinking like, I mean,
This
30
is
miles
awesome.
in, what's going on here? I mean, we
Yeah.
got a lot of. I mean, we're not even a third of the way done, so
Yeah.
I was a little bit scared at that point. Like, am I gonna be able to finish this? Not that I ever thought about quitting, but it was like.
Well, obviously you took in more nutrition though, and you were able to eat again.
Well, and then,
Yeah,
and
we
then
got
the
some
mountain
mountain.
thanked you by dropping about 40 degrees in an hour.
Yeah, see, once it cooled off, I think the heat was part of it, but it was definitely humbling because I wasn't expecting to be struggling at that point.
At the top of Casner, when we came down,
It was snow.
all that soft,
It was
Oh,
sun.
yeah.
So
that
bad
dust.
from all
Wow.
the traffic.
That was quite,
Yeah.
Last year, yeah.
So the dust roads were
moon
just
dust.
moon dust. That's
like
exactly
that.
right.
You
And
could
it was
see it
thick.
at night. Once it
Wow.
started getting dark, you put the flashlight on, you could see how much dust was probably
yeah.
in your eyes and lungs and
Yeah.
ears. And
powdered sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like you were walking through flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
But
like that.
thick
it
flour.
was like poof, and it just kind of right.
we put up aid stations where Aravaipa is going to have their aid stations, and you'll hear all about the crew later because they were awesome. I don't think any of these guys would have been able to make it without that crew.
For me, I was honored. You know, I knew these guys were crazy, so that was not new. I mean, most of them, and you have to be crazy, right, to do it. But to be part of it, I first felt like I'm there with them, like to support them. But later I found like we're really part of the same group. Just some of them are running, some of us are crewing, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next time where I'm running and they're crewing and making me cheese quesadillas. So yeah, but I have to first be able to run 105 miles.
Yeah.
So, right? That's gonna happen with you next week.
Yeah.
So I think we were asked kind of unofficially, it's like, oh hey, we have this run coming up, you know, we're looking for some people to help us, and we said, yeah, sure, we'll help out. And so I don't think I really understood at that time just how significant an event this was going to be. So yeah, by the end of it, I think like I said earlier, just realize how much goes into making something like this successful from everyone. And it's really inspiring to me to see the runners and the guys doing this. And I'm not sure that I will ever run 100 miles, but it is inspiring to see them do this, and it keeps me going as a runner.
My case, my husband was running it, and but we only knew 2 people that were running it, and so we were the newbies into the group, and it was very honoring to me to even be allowed to be part of it. But in the process, I gained a family, and so now I always have somebody who wants to go run with me now. So.
Yeah. I think it's just what we do in this community though, right? In trail runners community, we just kind of like jump in where we're supposed to.
Yeah.
And so Lucas is my good friend, and I've crewed every one of his 100 miles. So it was just, that's I guess what I'm supposed to do as a trail runner in the trail runner community. And
Yeah.
that's what you do. And to the point, like I 100% expect them to do it when I do 100 miles. So
Yeah.
Without discussion.
without discussion, yeah, it's just
Right.
like what we do for each other. So I think it's a community, and just the fact that you get really conjoined with people, and it's just what it is. So
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer. I just said, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't expect it to be 38 hours.
The fire pit.
Nobody
Turns
did.
out.
Nobody did. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be driving through the woods at 2 in the morning lost, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Just follow the GPS. What can go
we
wrong?
Forward to, we knew that they would be there. You know, we knew we were going to get a little break and something to eat, some yummy food, and
And that can't be understated.
no, I mean,
Overstated, sorry.
I can't
mean,
say enough about the
Yeah.
crew. We wouldn't have been able to pull it off if it wasn't for a crew. It was too remote.
Yeah, you can't just run from Sedona to Flagstaff without
stars, weren't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they?
There was one point where we stopped. We
I
turned
made
off our lights,
made
and
everybody
Keith
lay
made
down.
everybody lay down and look up at the stars.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was amazing.
So we were at Turkey Butte, so which is like a really remote. At least if you come from the way that we came, we had to go 3 hours over forest roads and very bumpy roads, and we were there, and it's not that there's a sign that says here's the aid station of the MiniDona. So we just looked at the GPS coordinates, set up our aid station, started to grill, started doing our quesadillas, and we expected them probably just before sunset, and 2-3 hours after sunset it was really dark, it was really getting cold, and we're like, okay, maybe we're at the wrong place. And there was no cell phone reception, so we had no clue where these guys were. They might be like half an hour out, they might be 3 hours out, but the quesadillas had to be exactly the right temperature, the noodles had to be ready. We had to be ready because we can take a nap, because we had this responsibility, and I think we were ready for them, and they showed up 4 hours later than we expected.
They were happy to see us, though. I think by the time they got to Turkey Butte, that's where it started to get a little bit more remote up in the mountains.
Yes, and cold.
And cold, and so they're following their GPS coordinates. We were following a pin that was on our map, hoping that we were in the right place and we'd all show up in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a tree kind of in the road, and
Hey guys.
we hung a couple lanterns up so that they'd be able to see the lights and know where the aid station was.
How's it going?
And finally, when they did come in, they had said, yes, we saw the lights down the road, and we said, oh, we hope that's it. So
yeah, they were really, really happy and hungry and cold, and they knew we had the fire pit there.
That's probably the biggest thing in the middle of the night is that we just have one pin, and they just have this map that they're going off of, and there's no trail markings.
Yeah.
No, there's no.
Aravaipa doesn't have these markings set up, the crucial turns. There's none of that.
Yeah.
So you're literally just hoping that you have the right spot and they end up at the right spot.
Yeah.
Because if not, we're in the middle of the forest.
they're in the middle of the
That's
forest.
it. If
Yeah.
If they don't hit us the right spot, we just never see them, and we'll hear about them on the news.
Yeah. They probably would still be running.
And luckily,
You're right, they'd
it
still
worked
be out
out
there.
every single time.
Yeah, be
I felt like that was a
overprepared.
tough section for sleep deprivation too, because
Yeah.
some of that section was very runnable.
Yeah.
And you wanted to.
Yeah,
I
you wanted to.
remember snapping at you at one point, no running, because I was
Let's just run
exhausted, tripping over my feet, and couldn't keep my eyes open, and I would have probably rather climb Kastner in that state
Yeah,
than go through that stretch. So I think that's something to consider too.
yeah. And there was a point before we got to I'm drawing a blank on the last part before sunrise. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Turkey Butte
Last
at
aid station.
Fort Tuthill.
Fort Tuthill.
Yeah.
When we were getting to that stretch, I think it was a 13-mile stretch to get to there. This guy was running off the trail, just sleep running, and I was like, "Scoot over, man! You're running off the trail. You're running off the trail. Wake up!" I mean, he was like literally
How
like,
about we don't do that?
yeah.
We needed sunrise bad at that point.
Yeah.
People come in like really, really cool. TJ came in,
Yeah, it was
First
not in a
person.
good place.
not in a good place, and then you see a couple other people, and they come in and they're feeling really good. I think Keith was all right, but he fell asleep at the fire pit,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then-
Yeah.
But later
Trevor
on,
wasn't
you see
doing
it
very good.
backwards where you have this other person, the sun comes up, and they feel great. So they go through so many highs and lows, and if you don't know anything about it, it becomes a big issue. Like you just have to if you just got to crew.
Woo! Awesome, guys. Awesome. That sun will be out soon.
Little behind schedule, but they should be at Sandy Steep, and they're barely hurting to Walnut Canyon. It's been probably low 30s all through the night. Sun's barely coming up, and they're pressing on, but man, my hands are frozen at the moment, and they just finished off half a marathon through the night. Well, the last section was half a marathon through the night, and it's probably been high 20s, low 30s in areas that they went through.
But Fort Tuthill was an interesting aid station for me because they came running in. It was still night. It was still technically dark, and then they took their break there. I think actually that might have been their longest one or their second
They
longest
sat
one.
there for a good amount too.
They were there for a while.
Those
45
two-
minutes for sure.
But it was like right at daybreak. So at the point where they left, the sun was coming up. So it was really interesting to kind of see the dynamic of that. There was a whole mentality shift. You know, coming in at night, they'd run hours and hours through the night. They're
Like mile
exhausted,
65.
and then the sun comes up, and they're taking their headlamps off, and I think there was kind of a feeling of feeling a little bit more revived, kind of the shift
vibes
and
of
getting
the
back
night.
into
Yeah,
day.
they had conquered the night.
Yes.
It's really interesting to see those, the ups and downs and the highs and lows.
Which at that point they thought would be their last. They thought they wouldn't have to run in the dark anymore. I think that did happen ultimately.
Like throwing them down. Little did they know they needed.
Yeah, little did they know
They were
they
good,
needed
yeah.
it still. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely more recharged. You could see. I bet if you ask them, they'll probably say that they felt way better leaving Fort Tuttle than they did when they walked in.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because they walked in looking like zombies. They left looking like zombies in the light.
About 3 miles that way. No, it's right there. It's right there. There we go. Good job, fellas. Good job. Good job, guys. Looking good. What's up, Jim? I'm doing all right. How you feeling?
Relatively good.
Yeah, you got this, man. Great job. You guys are flying now. But you- More cowbell.
It was awesome just to have them there and see them, because they don't usually come out to my races like that, and to have them out there just was a breath of fresh air. I mean, just knowing that they were going to be there for one, and then seeing them, super emotional. Like I'm an emotional guy anyway, and so when I saw them, I mean, it was just hard to fight back the tears, but it was just uplifting for sure.
Some of the best moments and pictures I was saying to Ramon that I recall was seeing him come into camp and just the raw
It helped
organic
all of us.
emotion,
It helped all of
the
us.
hugs, just to see them. It was that's awesome.
That canyon
So
was
that
really
was-
pretty,
once the
wasn't
sun
it?
came
What was
up.
the canyon we
Walnut
ran through?
Canyon, that was Walnut
the
Canyon.
east
So
of
that was
Tuttle.
yeah,
that was really nice.
that was really pretty, and that wasn't too bad. It was pretty. I mean, it was.
Yeah, the
runnable.
sun gave us.
Yeah, and the sun.
The sun gave us a lot of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when the sun hit. And it really revived us at that point.
For sure it did.
We could kind of smell the end too.
Yeah.
Just we were at
We
least
thought we
in
could
the-
smell the end.
It turns out it was us.
Like there's Elton, we're heading in the right direction, and all of a sudden we turn like
for
way
yourself,
up over
man.
here. Like, why are we going this way? Like the mountain's behind it. Where we're going is literally the opposite direction
Yeah.
we're running right now.
Ramon,
Yeah.
remember they were talking about the meadows there? Like, why do we have to keep going this way? Why can't we
Yes.
just have to go this
Yes.
way? And,
Yes, right before the base
and
belt.
they do go through the tunnel. Like, why are
Yeah.
we going through this tunnel? You know, just bring us over here. We gotta go back, and then we had like the one final climb.
Yeah.
And then by then, I think once we got to the top, it was like, all right, let's just get this done, get it
Yeah.
done. We're almost done. Just get to the roads.
I think we all did better on the climb up Eldon than we did on
Yeah.
Casimir. Am I
I
the
did
only
too.
one?
I
I felt
did
way
too.
better
I
on
got
going up that
I
one.
felt like everybody did well going.
The
up.
grade was steeper on Kasner, and the sun was beating me
Yeah, it was
down, and my
hotter.
legs were spent.
You can smell the finish line too at Eldon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
that's
just
true.
all you gotta do is
Almost
get up this thing and over.
Just
yeah.
I liked running on the top, even though it was windy. Once we got up
Yeah.
to the top,
Yeah, that was pretty.
The tree line, that was real nice.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about Keith bombing down Eldon like a maniac.
Yeah, so
Don't do that. Don't do it, Keith.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That is advice I want to
So-
give.
You were
for
going
sure.
faster than
We-
I do it on fresh legs. I couldn't believe
we had
it.
a good lead
Yeah.
on him.
That was
Not
unreal.
intentionally. I think the group had just kind of
We
separated.
separated two groups.
And
I
we
think
hear
somebody
some guy
wanted to get to the girls.
we heard some guy bombing down Eldon. We're like, what in the world? And it's this guy
I did not
flying
expect
down.
it to be anyone from our group when I heard
No.
him coming.
No,
I'm
absolutely
like,
not.
this is like, you know, some Flagstaff, you know, ultra.
I thought it was
Wild
wild
animal,
for sure.
To be totally transparent, I hit a dark spot actually getting up to the radio towers.
Okay.
Eldon was a
Yeah.
little bit dark for me,
Yeah.
and I thought you guys were waiting for us, you and Lucas, and we got up there and they were gone.
Yeah.
And I said,
We ditched him.
I got to get down there and find
So we
them guys.
motivated you.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, we just hid
You're
behind
welcome.
the rock.
You're welcome
It's
for
on TV.
that
Said,
crown.
"Did they leave?
You got
Did
the
they
crown
leave
on
us?"
Eldon. So we
tell
definitely
you
took a
about
wrong
that
turn. I think we took the old trail. I want to say it's Hart Trail or something like that. And so we took the old trail. And I remember the night before we had met with Peter Mortimer, and he had told us they had just redone it and to make sure you take the new trail. And we missed that, and so that was really super frustrating.
Yeah, so then we went back down.
Yeah.
And then went up that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was super frustrating. It was a fake, I don't know what you call it, but
I think it won't feel so long the next time.
I think in our heads, we
Oh,
had
we know
5
it.
miles of
Back
roads
out.
left. So we were looking forward to getting out of the woods, off the mountain, out of the woods, and get on the roads. And
We were
it's
a
the
little
home
cranky.
stretch. Yeah.
the hard part is it was the end of the second day, the sun's going down, and you're just done. I'm like, I want to get it done.
And we were 8 hours behind our.
Yeah.
And I thought the majority of that was going to be running like in town on the streets. Too.
That's what I thought.
And, but it's like literally probably a half mile, maybe 3/4 mile. Like actually in town. The rest we were still out.
Yeah, and once we started going down the hill, well, we surged up the hill. We were like, where the hell?
That we raced.
We raced up the hill.
Ramon got us back, I think.
And
for
then,
the last
we
five.
bombed down the hill, and,
It's just-
and like, oh my god, like it's
We
right
saw
there.
some legs at that point.
Yeah, we gave it a go.
Yeah.
At least it felt like we were going. We were
No, we were
right
moving.
in.
Did you GoPro it?
11. No. Yeah.
Mhm.
At that point, it's just race to the tree. We're gonna run to the tree. Fine looking race. What's up?
We're always looking to race. What's up? That's a long weekend.
My boy right here. I mean, just to know, so that was my first 100 miles, your first 100 miler. And now you have like 5 or 7 out now. All of a sudden.
It's kind
But-
of weird. Like there's gonna be a finish line here or something, or like an outdoor finish line. That's gonna look kind of. What's that gonna look like? That's gonna look
The
weird.
feeling of accomplishment.
It just
I
being
don't
done,
have
like,
ever
just
experienced
kinda-
anything like that. Anything like that.
Then
Yeah.
looking at Lucas's feet, his toes.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of going over and checking everybody.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I don't feel so bad.
Everybody had some damage.
Everybody had some
somewhere.
damage. Everybody was kind of assessing the damage at the end, and surrounded by family and friends and crew. Yeah, just done. It was good to be done. And right there, just kind of there, in a familiar area. I've been there before. That little square area, that Heritage Square. Yeah.
I just felt like I changed at that point. Like I just knew like that was something special.
We have to take ownership of our lives. We have to take ownership of hey, we can do this on our own in smaller groups. And frankly, it was the most special run I've ever been a part of.
I just want to thank these guys for even inviting me along just to be a part of the experience. Like I said, life-changing. I'm not the same person I was when I started that run. So, like, really big kudos and appreciation for these guys. And, I don't know, we'll do it again, hopefully, sometime.
Yeah, no, I want to say thank you to TJ for inviting me to be along with this group of awesome humans and runners. You know, I was kind of, like I said before, I was kind of late to the party to sign up, but I'm really glad I did because it changed me. It changed me as a person, it changed me as a runner. You know, we keep talking about the bond. I mean, it solidified the bond between some of you and I've hit new friends and stuff, friends for life. And there's moments and times that we spent out there on those trails that I'll never forget. I just truly appreciated that journey.
I think that none of us have really talked amongst ourselves about it, but it's important to thank Aravaipa and Jamil and those guys for allowing us to sort of hang out on their coattails for this experience, and thanks to them for keeping everything moving along the best they can for us. And yeah, let's just keep doing it. However we got to do it, whatever it looks like. Yeah, I'm real thankful for it. The course was tough, and it pushed us, and that's why we do this, and that's what we look for. So if they can make it tougher, make it tougher.
Adding another 145 miles.
There you go.
For me, yeah, I mean, I know it's been said, but it can't be said enough. Just the brotherhood and the friendships just are something that I mean, you can't take away. Those memories are there, and I mean, I can think back and just have a snapshot of every moment on that trail with these guys.
Before this, I never really had a running community. I always ran alone. I still run alone most of the time, but like I didn't have friends that run. None of my relatives would run, so it's nice to have been included in this. And thanks for inviting me. And now, you know, having that running community that I didn't have before.
Quesadillas,